They're not even going to make it through the 7-game series.
Oh, they will, because it's not going to go to 7. It's not going to go to 7.
They'll get swept.
I guarantee you one of them gets hurt. And then they're going to be playing 5-on-8. Welcome to Feast or Fumble. I am the real Kris Mac. I'm here with my guys, Patty Puts, Mr. Chino. How's it going, guys?
Good morning. Doing good. How you doing, Chris?
Doing good. Up early today. I'm gonna call this the lightning round because we're trying to go super fast. Trying to make it happen. Get into these topics. On the docket, state of the Knicks. Last week of the regular season, 6 games left, 5 games, depending on what your team is. What are our thoughts? We got some big news this past week. Julius Randle is going to be out for the rest of the season. Is opting to get the shoulder surgery. He's missed 25 games at this point. So, not looking too great. We were hoping to be at full strength going into the playoffs. Pat, I'll throw it to you first. What are your thoughts?
The thing that I'm loving about the Knicks right now, and this is prevalent with the Bulls game that just happened, is Josh Hart's game. I think Josh Hart is the straw that stirs the drink. He's playing almost every single minute in every game. He's making an impact on both ends of the floor, whether it's points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks. He really, really does it all. He's sometimes defending against the best opposing player night in, night out. He had 31 points the other night, which was a huge game, carried the Knicks to that victory. And that Bulls game where he got tossed for that stupid kick, which in my opinion, you have to know the player and know that he's not doing something like that. That's just silly. Because the Knicks right now are playing for playoff contention, and that game meant a huge amount. And it's only an 8-point deficit. I think Josh Hart is enough of a player to make up that 8 points, and the Knicks win that game. And then their playoff position looks even better. So I just really love watching Josh Hart play. He's funny, he's exciting, and him and Jalen Brunson and Dante just have this special relationship that's really fun to watch. What do you think, Sean?
Yeah, I agree. Additional to Josh Hart, I love what I'm seeing from Deuce. This dude is on a tear since we've been giving him more minutes, and we talked about it before. Like, wait until we see what he can do with more minutes, and you see it happening, man. The last 10 games, Deuce has averaged almost 19, 3 and 3. He's averaged 45 minutes a game. He hustles on the defensive side of the ball. He's a pest, and he shoots the ball well. He shoots the 3 very well. He's over 30% from 3, and he hustles, man. I really like his game since the Warriors game. That's when he kind of started getting inserted into the starting lineup, and he's been doing well with it. And you combine him with like what you just said, like you combine him with the way Josh Hart plays, you combine him with DiVincenzo, you combine him with Jalen. Like, the dude's balling, and I can't wait to see what he does when we get to the playoffs. Because as we've talked about, there's going to be like a rotation that we have in the playoffs, and I really hope that. And I know hope's not a strategy, but I hope that Deuce gets this same type of playing time come playoffs, because we're going to need him for sure down the stretch. Chris, what are your thoughts?
So one thing I like, we were talking about the last couple of weeks, getting everybody back healthy. OG's back in the lineup. Mitch is back in the lineup. So, we got 2 out of 3. Obviously, Randall is like a huge part of the offense. Allows for Jalen Brunson not to get double teamed as much as he is. But the fact that we got 2 guys who are key pivotal players inside of like our defense and being able to lock other teams down, I think is huge moving forward. So that's kind of like my upside. Something I'm not too happy about is obviously, Pat, you talk about the Josh Hart ejection. I'm just not sure who's going to be like the secondary option. when it comes to scoring the basketball. I just talked about Julius Randle being that guy. Who's going to be the next one to step up? Is it going to be Josh Hart? He's shown that he has the ability to score the basketball. Is it going to be DiVincenzo? He's also shown the ability to drop buckets, but we need a guy that's going to be consistent on that offensive end to help Jalen out. We just lost to the Bulls the other night, and an 8-point differential. One or two guys has to be able to make up that 8-point difference for us to overcome some of the teams we're going to see in the playoffs. The Bucks have 2 All-Stars. The Celtics have 2 All-Stars. A lot of the top teams in the Eastern Conference have guys that can score the basketball, and we can't just go into the playoffs with Jalen shouldering that whole load. But we'll see how it goes. Looking at the standings, currently the Knicks are in 4. We're kind of jockeying position with Orlando and Miami. Sean, what do you think about the standings currently? Where do you think the Knicks kind of end up after this last week? And who do you think is going to be our first round opponent?
Yeah, perfect segue. I would say, did you guys lose me? Am I still here?
No, you're good.
I'm still here. Yeah, woo. No, that's a perfect segue into something that I'm actually not liking right now. I alluded to that when I texted you all in a message the other night. Standing wise, yeah, we're 5th right now. But my concern is yes, we're 2 games back of the 2 seed because Milwaukee and Cleveland have kind of been not pacing in a really good spot right now. But we're also 2 games out of having to play in the playing games. That's how close it is right now. Orlando flip-flopped us. They're in the 4 seed. We're in the 5. And we got 5 games left, and 2 of those games are against Milwaukee, which season series, they're 3-1 against us. And obviously the team that we can't beat, Boston. So we play them twice. We play the Bulls twice. I know we're probably going to try to get our lick back. But as we can see, they're competitive against us, so they're not going to be easy games. And then I know Brooklyn we usually do very, very well against, but again, it's one of those games where could they be spoilers? Could they be you know what? Let's beat the Knicks and ruin what they got going on. So these 5 games are going to be tough. Where we sit in the standings is tough. Right now, if playoffs started, we'd have to go on the road. We can win on the road, but we're obviously we want to be home court advantage, right? So that's how I'm feeling about everything right now. Yeah, I know, I told you all how I felt about Randall, and whether he was going to come back and not come back. Somebody's going to have to step up, but at this point, it is what it is, and we got to worry about where we're at. And in the standings, I don't like where we're at currently. So, Pat, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, Sean, I agree. I have written down that I am very nervous about the remaining schedule with a view on the playoff seeding. So our final 5 games, very difficult games. Obviously Chicago just beat us. It is what it is. They beat us. So we can't just write them off as, a win. So there's, we have to go over 500 these last 5 games to kind of stay afloat in the division, in the conference. The Heat have 5 very winnable games. 76ers, 4 winnable games. Pacers, 4 winnable games. The only saving grace maybe is that the Orlando Magic have a really tough stretch. They have really tough 4 or 5 opponents. But, the Knicks just have to handle their own destiny. If they win games, then everything will just handle itself. But Sean, you just brought up the great point where we have to have home court advantage in the playoffs. Obviously, MSG is a special place during the NBA playoffs. It's just going to be the most insane crowd that you could ever play in front of. So we want to see that as much as possible. And also, we win more games at home than we do on the road. We have a better record at home. I think 5 more games won than on the road. So that's hugely important. So I'm nervous, but I think as long as they handle their business, the Knicks will be able to remain afloat. And I think they're going to jump up into that 4 spot. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I agree. To your point, Sean, it's a lot of, one game, half game leads, in the East. You mentioned Philly, and Joel Embiid just came back and is playing again. So like they're looking like they're going to be top team again now that they're at full power, full strength. So I think the games are winnable. We do play Chicago again. That Boston game, we're not really sure, if they're going to have anything to play for. They did lock up the number 1 seed, so they might try to like rest guys. But yeah, we basically, like you said, Pat, our destiny is in our hands. We can jux our position right now, maybe climb up to 3. We could catch Cleveland. Cleveland's 2 games ahead of us. So yeah, these next 5 games are going to be critical. I am more concerned with continuity and like guys getting back in rhythm. Like I mentioned, we did get 2 of our key players back in the lineup, getting OG some reps. He looked okay on the offensive end. Obviously, he didn't do too much in that Bulls game offensively. Defensively, you saw he made a huge difference. Being able to put him on DeMar DeRozan late in that game, being able to put him on, the best player going down stretches of games, is something that we didn't have for a good portion of this season. And it shows. It shows that he makes an impact immediately on the defensive end. So getting in rhythm these last couple games, I think, for the team is more important than where we're positioned. If it comes to us playing Orlando in the first round, I'm fine with playing Orlando in the first round. I think a lot of what, has helped them in games that they've won against us is the fact that they have size. They have Franz and they have Blanchero, who are both legit 6'9", 6'10" wings that can play bully ball, essentially. Getting Mitch back, who is a legit 7-footer, and then OG, who has got, the 7-foot wingspan, can guard pretty much every position, should mitigate some of that, because let's be real, they don't have anybody on their team that can guard Jalen. And, if we're going shot for shot, we got shooters throughout, whether it's DiVincenzo, McBride hitting shots, OG can hit shots, even if you want to talk Bogdan, he can come in and hit shots. So, I like that matchup against a young Orlando team who is still trying to like figure it out, and is gonna, let's be real, the spotlight in the Garden is bright. Are you gonna be able to do it 4 games to beat us? I don't see that happening. Cool. Any other basketball thoughts before we move off?
Obviously the Julius Randle news is huge, but it comes kind of with, there's a little positive, and you touched on this a little bit, Chris, is because now we have the rotation set. Now we're not looking for Randle to come back. Now we figure out what we have in the building on the roster, and we go into the playoffs with that. We're not searching for anything else. So that's the only one saving grace we get from the Julius Randle news. Of course, it's going to be a real problem when we're trying to score the basketball in the playoffs, but I'm really excited to see what we do with the rotation and seeing OG and Mitch getting their feet underneath them, their legs underneath them a little bit, and getting ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, I love what you're saying, Chris and Pat. I love the continuity. I love, OG coming back, rest. He's just filling into where he needs to be. He's going to be that defender that we're going to lean on to when they have to guard the best player on the other team. And yeah, I was watching, been watching Mitch and seeing how he's moving, seeing, we're not like rushing him back into it. It's like, hey, here's 40 minutes. Just give us everything you got. We're kind of slow playing it, which we can because, iHeart's been playing amazing in his absence. So, yeah, I agree. I think the biggest thing for me that really stands out that I'm loving right now is that Jalen's being Jalen. And he's getting really aggressive. He's getting that Mamba mentality. Like, yeah, on the season, he's averaged, 28, 7, and 4. He's shooting, 47% from 3. But last 10 games, he's averaging 31, 8, and 3. He shows up when it matters. It doesn't matter who we're playing. Like I remember a long time ago we talked about, because there was a lot of talk around the NBA that he's not a superstar and he's too small and nobody's a superstar unless they're like Steph Curry at that height. And I'm like, he's showing us that he is a superstar, and it doesn't matter. He does it he does it at home. He does it on the road. He does it in a win. He does it in a loss. And honestly, just looking at, statistically, he does it against any opponent. It doesn't matter. So, Chris, to your point, yeah, if we play Orlando, he's smacking. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing as our leader. So I really like that he's coming into his own. Yes, all these other players are going to fill their role, but he's fully embracing that he's our superstar and he's the one that's going to carry us to wherever we end up, and that's what it is. So that's what I'm loving right now.
Yeah, dude, you bring up Jalen's shooting and his averages on the season. Last 5 games, he's got 3 30-point games and a 61. So my man is cooking right now. I have to think you gotta at least throw him an All-NBA nod, and I know he's not gonna get MVP consideration, but he is the engine that goes for New York. So I love to see it, and I really want to see how he plays as like the focal point of the offense in the playoffs, because I don't really see anybody on any of the East teams being able to stop him. Transition back to baseball, baby. Opening weeks, baseball season is here. I know you guys love the Yankees talk. I'm throwing it to you, Sean. What have you liked opening weeks so far of baseball for the Yanks?
Yeah, it's been fun, especially for us, right? We started off by whipping on Houston in Houston, right? And the biggest thing that stood out for me is just I know I talked about him in previous episodes about what we're going to do at third base and who's that going to be, and Oswaldo has been stepping up, man. Just in that series alone, he batted .438. He had 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, 7 hits. Like he showed up in that series. I know in Arizona he took a little bit of a break, but like Arizona has a really good pitching staff. I'm not saying that Houston doesn't, but he struggled a little bit. But on the season, he's batting .346. He's 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, 4 runs. And he's playing really good defense, man. He made a play last night, just backhand, going cross chest across the whole diamond, like whoa. And listen, obviously he's not and I'll stick to what I said. He's not a starting third baseman in the majors. He is a role player. But I just love the fact that he's being patient at the plate. He's seeing pitches, and that's a testament to Juan Soto. I know Juan has said that in spring training. Cabrera was just like on him, like seeing his mannerisms, seeing what he does at the plate, watching his patience, seeing how he approaches every at bat, and I think you could see that Cabrera has really hit the ground running, and I love what I'm seeing right now so far. So, Pat, your thoughts?
Yeah, Sean, you were absolutely right. It's Ozzy Cabrera. I was really hard on him before the season. I didn't think he was going to be an everyday player. I didn't think he was capable of it. And so far this season, he's really proven me wrong. You said it. He's hitting well over 300. He's leading the team, 7 RBIs. Excellent defense. Probably some of the best defense in the major leagues. And he could play anywhere. And that's one of the best parts about him is his ability to play anywhere. If he could sustain a decent bat and just like keep having good at bats and keep getting on base, then they could move him all over the field and replace the players that are struggling in the lineup. So it just gives them depth when talking about their lineup and their ability to score runs and put a better lineup out on the field. But he's been extremely impressive. He's playing so well that I wanted to see more of Birdie, and we haven't gotten the opportunity yet. So that's always something you hope for, is that somebody with maybe an unproven track record comes in and just blows your socks off, so you don't have to worry about that problem anymore. What else you got? Sean, you mentioned Soto. Excuse me. I'm so excited about Soto. Like, again, I can't stop talking about this freaking guy. Like, every single episode, I'm like more and more impressed by him. Tell me more about what he's doing. What do you love?
I sent a text to a friend after the first inning yesterday. After Judge hit that home run. I didn't even care about the home run. What I cared about was Soto's at bat. The patience that he has at the plate is amazing. Like, he's constantly seeing 5 or 6 pitches every at bat. He's not expanding the strike zone. He's making the pitcher hit his spots, but he can hit all fields and he can hit everywhere in the strike zone. So like that at bat against Gosman like that, like, and what it's crazy because I was watching and listening to the Yankees announcers version of the 2 versions, right? And they were just talking so much about Gosman, about he's 3rd in the Cy Young, and he's 7-0 against the Yankees, and then all of a sudden, well, we smack him up and get him out of here, right? But I think it goes back to what we're talking about, like having Soto in that second spot with the patience that he has right in front of Judge. Dude, my friend said it. If Soto continues to do this in front of Judge, Judge is going to have an MVP season. He's an MVP season. He's going to be smashing home runs. He's going to be getting tons of RBIs, and it all starts with Juan Soto. And we said it last time. He's as advertised. So, yeah, I love it. Everything about it. We need to pay that man. Somebody jokingly said, give him the blank check. Pay him now. Let's go. And he said he's open to it. He said Cashman has my lawyer's phone number. Tell him to call. I'm down to negotiate. Let's go. What are we waiting for?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, he's terrific. They're talking about a $500 million contract, which would be insane. But they print money under Yankee Stadium. Just throw it at him. Who cares? But Soto,
I've seen it. I've been there now.
Question for you guys.
Yeah, what do you got?
So right now, Yanks playing well. I believe they're tied for American League best record, 7-2. They're a bit of a road warriors, so to speak. They're 6-1 on the road. Only play 2 games at home. Do you think that is a concern for you guys? Like they haven't had, obviously the schedule being what the schedule is, they haven't played a lot of games at home. Do you think that's going to be of benefit to them or something to look at as the season progresses?
I think starting the season on the road and having that kind of a start, beating up on the Houston Astros, who have had our number for the last few years, is only positive. So now, obviously, being on the road is one of the more difficult things to do when playing a professional sport. So being home and getting into your regular regimen and just being able to be around the stadium and everything, I think they're only going up from here. I think they're going to continue to play really, really great baseball. What do you think, Sean?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't really care too much about us, how we play at home. We've always been good at better at home. That's the case, but we've actually struggled away. If you look at the past couple seasons, our record away has been worse than at home. I don't care so much about it right now because it's early in the season. What I care about is our patience at the plate. That's going to be key, especially if you wanted to emphasize the road, especially on the road. Like, we have to make pitchers pitch. We have to have them hit their spots. We can't expand the strike zone because once we start expanding the strike zone, that's when you start seeing the whiffs. You start seeing a lot of strikeouts, a lot of people not putting the ball on the barrel. And again, it all starts with Juan Soto. Yes, I know Glaber's our leadoff right now, and he's doing a good job. But I feel like after that first time around the batting order, like, he ends up being like a bottom, to be honest with you. And with Cabrera in the 9, like, again, I think it's patience at the plate is the key right now. Just getting that rhythm. When home and away, again, baseball's a long season. I don't really care too much about that right now. I care about how we're approaching the plate and the type of culture we're creating in that aspect.
Yeah, good transition there. Pat, what do you see as, like, we mentioned a bunch of positives, lineups hitting well. What do you see as the biggest, not necessarily issue, but point of concern with the Yanks so far from what you've seen?
So this is an interesting one because last night's performance kind of threw me off a little bit, but I'm a little concerned about Giancarlo Stanton. Giancarlo Stanton is having a tough time. He looks lost at the plate. He really does. He's letting a lot of really, really fat, juicy pitches go by, sometimes without swings. Pitches right down the middle for strike 3. It doesn't look like him. and I was really, really excited because he slimmed down. He's trying to be healthy. I thought it was just going to come hand in hand where he was just going to light it up at the plate, and it has not happened so far, unfortunately. He had a great game yesterday, obviously 3 for 5 with the solo shot, but on the season he's hitting .214. That was only his second home run, and he struck out 13 times in 28 at-bats. That's almost 50% of the time. We can't have that in the middle of our lineup. You can't have this massive hole at 5, 6, 7 where it's just a strikeout half the time. We have to have effective at-bats where we're moving runners along, getting base hits, stuff like that, making the pitcher work. I'm just really, really nervous about what I've seen out of Stanton so far. But I'm hopeful. I hope yesterday was the start of something really, really positive. Sean, what do you think? Any concerns?
That is the concern. And we're stuck, to be honest with you. It is what it is with that situation. We're stuck with his contract. We're stuck with him being the DH. That's it. At the end of the day, the only thing that's going to change is, and listen, he looks lost. It doesn't matter what the pitch is. Yeah, he crushed that one, but I think Gosman at that point was kind of beat up already, and he was just throwing what he could at the plate. And he's a major league home run hitter. Like he got a piece of it, and he hit it oppo, which short porch. I believe statistically that wouldn't have been a home run in like majority, more than 75% of the other stadiums in the majors. So he looks lost. Doesn't matter what the pitch is, off speed, sliders, fastballs. He just looks lost at the plate. And to your point, yeah, he's consistently swing and a miss. And it's not even like he can't even. It's not that he can be patient at the plate because the pitchers aren't afraid. They're just attacking him. Like they don't even care. Like they see what he's doing. And I pointed out the other day, like all season in the Houston series and the Arizona series, like he was batting sixth. Then the first game in Yankee Stadium, you flopped him and Rizzo, and I get it because you want to maybe see if that's like a spark to like get him going. Didn't work, right? It didn't work. And then last night you switch it back. Like I understand it, but I say it is what it is. Don't try to like move him around and figure out he's lost, and we're stuck with it. And that's the one thing I do hate about moving forward, like early in the season. There's nothing we could do with it. Like the only way we could get rid of him is by convincing a team to give us their first child. That's it. Like that's how bad it is. Like nobody's going to take his contract. The only way a team will take his contract is if we agree to pay his contract and they have him for free. Literally what Denver just did with Russell Wilson. That is the only way we can get out of the Giancarlo Stanton contract. But the issue is, even if we convince the team to do that, who wants him? He can't hit. And he can't play the field at this age. So yeah, that is what I'm worried about. We're on the same page. I agree. And again, I'm in the stand of it is what it is at this point. We're stuck with it, and we can't put him anywhere else in the batting lineup. Like he can't be lower than 6, and he can't be higher than 6, and 6 is what it is. So that's my thoughts.
Oh no, we got real sweaty on Yankees talk as usual. I love it.
Listen, what I would say, Chris, to your point, I know you're about to ask like anything else. Like what I really, really love right now is my guy Stroh. He is dealing. Oh my God! And he had my man had the do-rag under the Yankee cap at home. Like he's a New Yorker, man. And this is what I'm talking about. This is what we needed. And he's about to be the savior. Like 12 innings pitched. He's only given 7 hits, 3 runs. His ERA is amazing. Like he's showing up, man. He's doing his job. That's what we need, especially with all the question marks we had around the lineup, around the rotation. He's a stud, man. I love what he's doing right now. Keep it going, please. Pat, what are you thinking?
He has been amazing. Another guy I was pretty hard on before the season. One thing about the do-rag, I wonder how George would have felt about the do-rag under the Yankees hat. But, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, that's cut. But no, he pitched amazing the other day. He's pumping up the crowd. It's really, really fun to see. My really exciting piece is Anthony Volpe. He's the next generation of Yankee shortstop. He's my guy. He's a Derek Jeter fan growing up, always my favorite player. And just to see that the next step, the next person to come into line and play shortstop for the Yankees, and he's lighting it up. He's playing great defense. He's hitting .333. Him, Soto, and Cabrera are really doing a lot of the heavy lifting early on in the season for this Yankees lineup. And now we're seeing Judge come along and Rizzo come along, and the lineup's going to be scary.
100%. That's the crazy part. We're 7-2 right now, and our best is yet to come. Like Judge, yeah, he crushed a home run last night, but like he's not even at form yet. And again, the way Soto's batting, when he gets to where he needs to get to, be scared, be afraid, be very afraid. Because it's going to get spooky. And we're not talking about Halloween.
Somebody get that man a chopped cheese sandwich. Let's go.
I want a chopped cheese. Let's go.
Let's go.
The Yankees are here. The Yankees are here. We're here. And I know there's a lot of doubters out there. But we're here. It's no more of this on paper. Like, on paper and the product we're putting out is legit right now. I love it.
Pat, quick question. Do you think the teams in Texas are the main, I guess, contenders to, see the Yankees in the postseason? Who is your next team up, so to speak?
Unfortunately, I still think, the teams in Texas are going to be the ones that we're going to end up seeing in the postseason and the ones that we have to get by. I think the Orioles are going to have a very good year again. They're good, young, talented team, and their AAA squad is just full of MLB talented players, But this year, I believe, the Astros and the Rangers are truly the real threat to the Yankees being winning the AL crown. Excuse me, Sean. What are your thoughts?
I hear you, and I've been watching the Rangers, and obviously we beat up on the Astros, and the Orioles are looking good too. They just lost a game last night against the Pirates on a walk-off. I think that's the road's going to have to go through there. That's why I love the fact that to start the season off, we really we beat up on Houston, and we beat up on Houston the way that Houston does to us, right? Get on base, patience at the plate, make our pitchers struggle, make our pitchers pitch, and that's what it's been. That's what it's been. Since we've had Aaron Judge, we can't beat Houston in the playoffs. But again, what we showed that first series is the formula that we need to beat these teams. Yes, we're gonna have to go through them, obviously, but I think if we can keep this pace, obviously, long season, we're early in the year, we're nine games in, it's still a long season, but that if we can keep this formula that we have right here, I think we got it.
Nice. I like it. Should be exciting stuff. Now it's time for our favorite segment. You know what it is. Is it Feast or is it Fumble? Sean, Mr. Chino, what do you got for us this week?
I was going to say, did you just use my government on here? Are we recording this? Kid. It's all good. Got a good one for you. We were, NBA, on ESPN had posted a pic of starting five based on age range. Okay? And I want to know who you're feasting and fumbling on, okay? So I'll go through it first. We'll start with the youngins. So ages 20 to 25, you got Tyrese Halliburton. You got Anthony Edwards, Luka, Zion, Wemby. That's ages 20 to 25. Then you have ages 25 to 30. You got Giannis, Booker, Tatum, SGA, Joker. That lineup's actually pretty tough. I ain't gonna lie. And then you got the old heads. We can call them the old heads. Over 30. Embiid, Steph Curry, LeBron, KD, and I just drew a blank on his name. On the Clippers.
Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard. My bad. I just had a huge brain fart there. You see that, audience? See what happens when you get over 30? You start losing your mind.
Losing it.
I had a major brain fart right there. So that's the 5 over 30. We call them the old heads. So feast or fumble. Who you feasting on and who you fumbling on? Who wants to go first?
I'm ready. This is a no-brainer for me. This is 25 to 30 all day.
Let's go. Let's go.
There's only one rock to go around, and I understand that. And these are a lot of scorers. But I think a lot of these players could also do multiple different things. Like Joker's a great passer. Booker is an underrated passer. Tatum is a good passer. I just think these guys are really, really in their prime right now, and I think we're looking at 5 of the best players in the NBA. I love this comparison, though. I mean, the old heads is they're going to stick around. It's not like you're going to beat up on any of these teams, but for my money, I would be all over 25 to 30. These are phenomenal NBA players, and I would love to have that starting 5. Chris, what do you got?
I mean, in a vacuum, if we're talking NBA 2K, injuries turned off.
Get spicy.
Injuries turned off. Clearly, it's going to be the 30 plus. You got the greatest shooter ever. You got the GOAT, or the modern GOAT, the leading scorer in NBA history. You got, former MVPs. You got 4 players that all have championships. You got Kevin Durant, who is basically unguardable. So, I mean, like I said, in a vacuum, yes, you want to go with the 30 plus. However, I'm feasting on the 25 to 30. Listen, to Pat's point, these guys are all in their prime. You do have 2 championships on there with both Giannis and Joker winning championships. You got guys that are in the hunt for NBA titles this season, and Tatum and SGA and even Booker. And, you have a little bit of longevity. We're going to have this same conversation 5 years from now when we're talking about these guys who are still playing, and everybody in the 30 plus is going to be outside the league. I don't think the 20 to 25s are there yet, even though Luka is like right on the cusp. And I think, he's basically going to be in that 25 to 30 discussion too at some point. But yeah, if you're talking upside, give me the 25 to 30. Sean, what do you think?
Y'all are crazy. Y'all must be crazy. Listen, let's just talk about listen to what you said at the start. What you said.
Yeah.
Turn off injuries. We'll take 7-game series. You mean to tell me these dudes are gonna mess with the old heads? All right. I'm all about matchups. Let's talk about matchups here. Who's guarding Steph Curry? And don't even try to say Booker or SGA are guarding Steph Curry without the ball.
Oh, just chasing him around the court?
Exactly. Because LeBron's facilitating. You look at that lineup, LeBron's facilitating. Mm-hmm. He's gonna do what that team needs. And that's why LeBron is the GOAT right now. Like, he's going to do what he needs to do for the team to win. And what he's going to do with that lineup, he's facilitating. Steph, go do what you do best. Run off these screens. You don't need to touch the ball. I got you. Who's guarding Steph Curry doing that? Is it Booker or is it SGA? Are they going to pass it off to each other?
I mean, it's going to have to be a combination of the two. I mean,
it's got to be Combo. Who runs around the court?
Yeah. They're going to be tired. All right. So then, Joel Embiid is. We've talked about this before. Joel Embiid, when healthy, we've all said this, right? He's arguably the best player in the NBA when healthy this season. Mm-hmm. Arguably, right?
Yeah.
So I would just say him and Joker, wash. Okay?
Okay.
You mean to tell me you're taking Giannis over KD? Giannis can't guard KD. Giannis can't guard KD. Chris, we talked about this. We talked about this. Mm-hmm. Giannis ain't got no bag. He ain't got no bag. So it's not like KD has to guard some crazy stuff right now.
He has to guard somebody that has 40 pounds of muscle on him. He's just gonna bully him under the basket.
I hear you.
Yeah. I'm
next.
I'm gonna let Pat go on this because I feel like Pat is the voice.
Hold on, let me make my last point.
Uh-huh.
We know what Kawhi can do on the defensive side of the floor, right? He's gonna guard their best player. And just looking at that lineup, he's gonna have to guard Jason Tatum. You mean to tell me he can't clamp up Jason Tatum?
It doesn't matter. So then you have Steph Curry guarding SGA, and he's just going to trash him.
I don't see that happen. He's going to be tired from chasing him around the floor.
Get real.
7-game series, he's going to be tired from chasing him around the floor. And he wouldn't guard SGA. He would guard Devin Booker. LeBron would guard SGA. You forgot that LeBron has to play defense, right? Because I didn't say who LeBron was guarding. I said LeBron was facilitating. So you mean to tell me LeBron can't shut SGA down?
No.
No, guy. And then, if I had to, I would switch it. I'd have Kawhi guard SGA and then have LeBron guard Jason Tatum.
I'm gonna let you go because you're about to get cooked right now. I'm warming up. I'm stretching. I'm feasting on
the old heads.
Feasting on the old heads. Let me point out a couple things to you. Okay, I set you up. Okay, we call it a rope-a-dope. Okay, I'll let you come in, and then I just start hitting you with body shots. I prefaced it by saying, obviously, injuries turned off, fatigue turned off, NBA 2K rules. You're gonna take the old heads because you have basically 99s across the board when it comes to like their stat lines, okay? But we're talking about real life, okay? We're talking about Father Time being involved in this argument, okay? So, yeah, sure. Offensively, Steph Curry shooting from half court, unlimited range. We're talking Kevin Durant shooting from the field, unlimited range. You know, LeBron James, GOAT. All that. Embiid, best player, NBA, cool. All that. Kawhi, lockdown defender, all that. You're missing the fact that you got studs in that 25 to 30. Okay? You got... You know what I mean? Like, you're talking about LeBron being the point guard. Joker is going to be the point guard. Okay? Embiid is not guarding Joker the way that...
Don't do that.
No.
Don't do that.
No, listen. Offensively, Embiid probably the best all-around player, top to bottom.
You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind if you think that Joker. You cannot sit here and honestly tell me you think that Joel Embiid cannot guard Joker. You're out of your mind.
Joker is going to impact the game more than Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is going to score points, rebounds, block shots. Joker is going to facilitate. He's going to score. He's going to rebound. He's going to do everything. On top of that, you have two elite wing players in Tatum and Giannis who are going to have to switch off on LeBron and KD. Okay? LeBron, we're not talking about, 2010 LeBron. Okay? We're not even talking about 2015 LeBron. We're talking about 2024 LeBron. 40-year-old LeBron James having to guard two guys, switching off on two guys that are elite wing players in Giannis and Tatum, okay? Who can both give you 30 on any given night and who are in their prime defensively. Giannis being, candidate for Defensive Player of the Year multiple times, okay? So, yeah, he might not have a bag offensively, but he can definitely guard both LeBron and KD, okay? Maybe not to, totally shutting them down, but at least giving them enough of a problem to where that you can't You got to pick. It's either going to be all in on offense or all in on defense. And we both know at this point, KD and LeBron don't play that level of defense anymore. Okay? And then to Pat's point, yes, Steph Curry is going to light it up. But to my point I just made, it's either going to be all in on offense or all in on defense. And Steph don't play defense. Okay? You got a 6'6" SGA who is basically going. You got a 6'6" SGA who is basically going to chase around Steph Curry and then put his body weight on him, all going down the court on offense. And then you have a Devin Booker who can score just as easily. Again, who's probably going to see a lot of Steph Curry on defense. Like, it's basically just a matchup of father time. It's like literally, yes, the over 30, they're gonna score points, they're gonna be in the game, but they're gonna give up just as many points. Okay, it's gonna be a shootout. However, I think the 25-30 is gonna get the stops when they need the stops. They're gonna get the stops. Listen. They can score points, but the gas tank matters. The gas tank matters. And none of these guys at this point in their career can play on both sides of the ball 100% of the time.
You're out of your mind. They do it today. Listen,
they do it today. Every single person on the 30-plus has been injured this season. Every single one has missed at least 10 games. What are we talking about?
Listen to me. You gonna let me?
Go ahead. Say what you gotta say.
First off, you're out of your mind if you do not think that Joel is a good matchup for Joker. Do you want to look at their stats versus each other? The last 3 games they played against each other, Joel Embiid has smacked him.
Yeah, you're gonna have to look all the way back in December because Joel's been out of the. You've been out of the league. He's been injured. What are we talking about?
All right. So hold on. Are we talking about, hey, we're gonna pick this team based on them playing today, this day, in this day? No. You said we're picking a team. We're turning off injuries, all that stuff, and then now you're contradicting yourself again.
That's a video game. I'm talking about real life right now.
Okay, so we're gonna talk real life. The last 3 matchups: Joel Embiid versus Joker. Joker cannot guard Joel Embiid. Last time they played, he had 41, 7, and 10. The game before that, 47, 18, and 5. The game before that, 34, 9, and 4. So who's guarding who? So you're saying Embiid can't guard Joker, but can Joker guard Embiid? That's why I said it's a wash. So you can't bring that statement into that. That's crazy. You're talking wild right now. That's crazy. I prefaced. I said it's a wash, and then you led with that. That's crazy to me. That's crazy talk. That's wild. That's crazy.
Pat, voice of reason, Pat.
Look, the one thing I can say, the 25-30 and the 30-plus, these 10 players are established players. These are top-line scorers. Nobody's going to shut them down like we're talking about. Like, that just doesn't happen with these 10 players in the NBA today. Every single night they go out and they do their thing, whether it's, maybe they score a little less points, but these guys, we were talking about the bags, they have multiple ways to score, and they could do it night in and night out against anyone on the planet. And that's why we're talking about these 10 guys.
100%. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I led with the Joel Embiid and Joker statement of it's a wash because they both cannot guard each other. Yes, Joker has had good games against Embiid, but the last 3 games that they've played, Embiid has dropped 35 plus. So what are we talking here? So you can't. That's why I said it was a wash. But then you led your statement with that Embiid can't guard Joker. I'm like, when they've played each other, it's been vice versa. Like Joel Embiid has given Joker work when they've played head-to-head.
I'll give you that. Talking about all the other points that I've made, like yes, I understand. We're talking about with the 30-plus. We're talking about Hall of Fame players, all-time great players, multiple championships across all of them, with the exception of Embiid. Okay, but we're also talking about guys that have had championships as well, in that 25 to 30 range in Joker and in Giannis, okay? And we're talking about elite level defensive players on the opposite side, okay? And we're talking about guys who don't play defense currently as in the NBA as it is today. Steph don't play D like that. LeBron don't play D like that. KD don't play D like that. Okay? So you're limiting your defensive prowess on Kawhi, who has been load managed for the last 5 seasons, and Embiid, who's missed
bringing injuries into it.
because it's a thing. I literally prefaced this saying, if we're talking about a video game stats, yes, the 30 plus. If we're talking about real actual life in current modern NBA,
yep,
injuries play a factor.
We're talking. All right, so we're talking real life. That's what you keep going back to the injury point, and what I'm trying to make here is we can keep the injuries, and if you look at statistically what the over 30 folks are doing this season, they are producing. Like, what are we talking about? Yes, you're saying Steph Curry's over 30. He's averaging 27 and shooting 40% from 3. So yes, he may not be able to shut down SGA or Devin Booker, but guess what? They're going to have to stop him. We're talking about the greatest shooter of all time that today is still the greatest shooter of all time at over 30. That makes no sense to me. I get what you're saying. We're keeping the injuries. We're on today.
My main point between the 30 plus and the 25 to 30, all are prolific scorers, but when it comes down to shutting down on offense, give me the younger guys who could potentially play better on both sides of the ball for a longer period of time than the older guys. That's all I'm saying. Pat,
SGA's
voice
do it in the playoffs.
of reason. Pat, voice of reason.
Not yet.
So it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened. So we can't say that. And Devin Booker hasn't done it. Devin Booker hasn't done it when it's mattered. So we're talking about, again, if we were talking about a 7-game series, these two teams versus each other, I'm taking the old heads that have done it.
All these old men, they're not even going to make it through the 7-game series.
Oh, they will, because it's not going to go to 7. It's not going to go to 7.
They'll get swept.
I guarantee you one of them gets hurt. And then they're going to be playing 5-on-4. Embiid is going to fall and break his tibia or something, or Kawhi is going to pull a hamstring or something. And
SGA and Devin Booker are gonna pass out from heat exhaustion from chasing the best shooter on the planet around the freaking court. You're out of your mind.
Out of the mind.
You're out of your mind. And then we're talking about the current GOAT facilitating what he's really good at doing. Like, it's crazy. But hey, that's everybody's opinion. This was Feast and Fumble. That was I hear you.
All right. We could talk about this all day, but let the viewers decide. Rounding this thing out. Best bets, Patty puts, the GOAT. What do we got?
Let's go. All right, guys. So I got 2 for you today. Obviously, everybody's been paying attention to the national championship, the Final Four. UConn has been awfully impressive through their run towards the championship game. Their last loss was December 1st, guys. Their wins, their last several wins were 14, 25, 30, 17, and 39 going through the NCAA tournament. That's just insane. I don't think Purdue has the firepower to keep up with them. The spread is currently sitting at -6. I'm going to hammer UConn -6. Zach Edey is having a great tournament, but he has not met Donovan Clingan as of yet. Donovan Clingan is an absolute beast in the middle, and he gets his hands on so many shots, it's ridiculous. And then for my second hammer of the day, you guys, if you guys have been listening, you know that we've been tailing the New York Rangers almost all season. You want to keep going, keep hammering the Rangers. So today, they're at -340 money line. So we're going to do a cross-sport parlay with the Detroit Tigers against the Oakland Athletics. So the Oakland A's are in really, really rough shape right now. I don't know if you guys follow Barstool, but there's a couple guys that that are fading the Oakland A's every single game on the season. And so far, they're up a couple units. So I'm going to take the New York Rangers money line at minus 340 and the Detroit Tigers money line at minus 192 for a total of minus 104. You guys are going to want to hammer that one.
Nice.
One more bonus. Keep an eye on Caitlin Clark today. Iowa is a underdog today in the women's natty. I think Caitlin Clark's going to get the job done. She is truly special. She is very, very fun to watch, and just this Final Four has brought women's college basketball to another level, honestly.
I was going to say, correction, it's the Athletics, because they're moving to Sacramento next season. I don't know if anybody saw that, but that's hilarious to me. But I like that. I'm hammering. Hammer.
Let's get it.
Win some money.
Good stuff. Win some money. I like it. Anything else before we head out? What are you guys looking forward to?
College basketball, man. Pat kind of alluded to it. It's crazy. I was going back and forth with somebody, a group yesterday about women's basketball not being entertaining. It's only entertaining because they bet on it, but maybe I'm interpreting it wrong. But I'm a basketball fan, so like whether it's women's playing, men's playing, yes, there's different levels to it. But watching yesterday, like watching Iowa versus UConn, like that was, to me, that was good basketball. It's crazy because I was looking at I don't know, maybe I watched the game differently, but like I was looking at how the turnover, I'm like, man, that person, they should have spread it out a little bit. They should have been in a different spot so that they would have been open a little. Like I'm looking at it from that perspective. I'm not looking at it like, I'm not expecting everyone on the court to be Caitlin Clark. Is my point. Like everyone's not Caitlin Clark. That's just how sports are. But I look forward to watching that game tonight. I think to Pat's point, I feel like a lot of people are on SC, and last time they played, Caitlin actually played very well against them. So I look forward to that game, and I look forward to UConn versus Purdue. UConn looks really tough, man. Yes, they haven't lost a game in a while, but against the spread, they've looked tough too. Mm-hmm. So they've been blowing people out. Just saying.
We're going to see.
Like Alabama, that game was close, and then all of a sudden they pulled away. So,
Pat, what are you looking forward to?
Yep, same here. Absolutely, the national championship. You heard the UConn coach saying they stink at playing close games, so they have to blow everybody out. So, when you hear a coach say something like that, you have to back that team. But now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty with the end of the NBA season and the end of the NHL season. So over these next week, 2 weeks, there's going to be a lot of really, really important basketball and hockey going on, and a lot of really important seedings and teams going in different directions. Really exciting time for New York sports teams. The Rangers and the Knicks both on great trajectories. So I'm crazy excited. How about you, Chris?
Yeah, same thing. Basketball is here, baby. March, going into April, best time to be a basketball fan, whether it's national championships, NBA playoffs. I'm here for it all. That is our pod episode for the day. Remember, guys, like, share, subscribe, boost us up in those algorithms. We greatly appreciate it. For Mr. Chino, Patty Puts, I'm the real Kris Mac. This is